podcast is brought to you by Reka Studio. If you are struggling with creating content because you have no time, you don't know how to, and you are lacking of ideas, this is for you. For just $1, here's how Reka Studio can create 8 reels for you for 1 whole month. And the best part is, it'll only take 3 hours of your time. First, the Reka team researches your industry and creates a custom content guide, including everything from the best SEO keywords, top videos in your niche, and the best topics for you to speak on to connect with your audience. Secondly, we have a recording process that allows us to record high quality videos that looks professional, and it'll only take minutes to set up. Thirdly, our team handles all the editing, so each video holds your audience attention while still being authentic. Fourth, our team will schedule the post to your selected platforms on autopilot. And the best part is, all this for just $1 to get you started. We can only slot in 5 more clients, so visit tgnpodcast.com/Reka to find out more. Terms and conditions apply. Nuggets, back to the episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Golden Nuggets podcast. We are part 3 with Kartina.
Yes. All right. So, Kartina, aside from your dad, is there any other inspirations that you actually have for yourself in making sure that you have a long and also sustainable business?
Of course, absolutely. And besides my dad, there's a lot of people actually in my life who inspired me, but everyone is important. I was about to say second, third, but no, everyone is important. But this particular one is very special to me, and he's actually my son. Like I mentioned before, Irfan was diagnosed as having autism at 3, and I've gone through a lot with him. All of us in the family, not just me and my husband. Because when we found out that he was 3, the first question that came to my mind was, what did I do wrong? And it was a journey of blaming myself, and I couldn't accept that, apa ni autism? Did I eat something? Did I drop him? You know, it was a very, very painful journey where before I learned how to accept that it's a condition. And when the doctor actually told me, oh, he's on autism spectrum, and the first thing is, lama, ada ubat tak? Is there a medication? And when they said no medication, like when people that actually tell you there's no such medication, I was like, huh? No medication? Means for life, it's like that. Then how? You know? And then when we knew about he needs intervention and the cost, I panicked. And I said, how are we going to do this? You know, we tried to enroll him to an intervention school, but during that time, it was full. And so we actually put him into a kindergarten, but unfortunately, it didn't turn out well because after, you know, when we put our kids to school, we usually have to be with them for a week or 2, and so what happened after the first week? The principal actually told me that your son is very disruptive. Because he was running around, and for Irfan at that age, right, whenever he hears things which are loud, children playing, you know, music, he will actually close his ears. I think that's the first sign of autism. Yeah, they cannot hear. They are very sensitive to loud sounds.
So this is playgroup, is it?
He was in nursery. Yeah. So and he was running around. He cannot sit still. He's very edgy and very, very hyper. Yeah. And the first week already, the principal told me that your son is very disruptive, and if you cannot get any assistance from anybody or assistant teacher to be in school with us, then we cannot have him. But I told you that he is diagnosed as having autism, and we need to get him into intervention school, which we cannot at the moment. But he needs to go to school, so that's the reason why we put him into kindergarten first, and then wait for the enrollment for intervention when we get it. She was unhappy for sure. So what happened was, after the second week, I remember that I had to leave him. The teacher said, leave him, and we just have to go. And I just like about maybe 20 minutes when I reached the office, because I was I put him into a school near my workplace. The teacher called me, and I could hear him crying at the background, screaming. And I said, what happened? I don't know what happened to your child. Can you please come to school and get him?
Okay.
And there was no explanation. So when I decided to get my helper to fetch, my helper said, oh, Adik he was shaking, and he was crying, and he was hugging my helper so tightly, he said. And because he was non-verbal. At the time, he was non-verbal, so he cannot express what he wanted to say. He was scared. He doesn't know what is scared, you know.
Okay.
So when I tried to call the school and I wanted to speak to the principal, I was always rejected, saying the principal's not around, busy and stuff like that. And one day the admin person said, I think the principal has spoken to you and that your son is very disruptive, so maybe you should just, leave the school and find another school. So I said, is that it? Then she said, yes. So okay, so I filled up the form, and under the reason for leaving, I stated asked to leave. So when I gave it to them, I also asked for the CCTV because I wanted to know what happened. You see, because what happened was, Ifan ended up very traumatic after that. Whenever he sees a glass door, he will start to scream.
Like any glass door?
Any glass door.
Oh.
So imagine going to KKH for his appointments.
Yeah.
The moment he see a glass door, he will start to scream. He will lie on the floor, he will scream, he's scared.
Oh.
So I want to know what happened, you see, but we couldn't get answers because there wasn't CCTV given to us. There was no reason given to us. So after a few days, I decided this is not happening. So I went to ask, what else can I do, to the school. There was no response. But then, so I wrote to PCF HQ and I actually explained what happened. And I asked, is there any other schools that can accept children on the spectrum? And there was no response. But what happened was, the school actually called me, and there was a center director who was there and brought me, and me and my husband came. And during that time, my husband was a curriculum designer. Okay. And so we came, and the principal was there holding that form where I said asked to leave, right? So the center director said, "Oh, we heard about what happened, and in the form you said that you asked to leave, ma'am. I think we found a solution to this." I said, "Wait, you found a solution after a few weeks not answering my calls?
Yeah.
This is a child who's on the autism spectrum, and you don't have any explanation as to what happened to my son. I asked for a CCTV, and there was no response. So, no, don't worry about that. We have managed to find a male teacher to help your son."
Okay.
So I said, no, I don't understand. I said, what is this? Because I said, you wanted us to leave and yet now you found a teacher. I mean, of course, for those who are hearing him, I say, okay, dah ada cikgu apa? So but what I want to know is that what happened.
Yeah.
And Irfan was traumatized already. He doesn't want to see any glass door already. Can you imagine going anywhere and he sees a glass door? He would scream. So we are also affected, you see.
Yeah.
And we had to speak to his doctors about this. And of course, the doctors wanted us to go and find out what happened, but we couldn't. So I remember my husband saying, I am a curriculum designer for adults, and we have an SOP to actually ask, to tell adults if they are not functioning or if they are not doing well for their school. If they should leave, we will tell them the reason why they should leave. You are dealing with a 3-4-year-old and you cannot even give me a reason why my child should not be in the school. And if you say that, he has a condition, I already told you that he has a condition.
Yeah.
Which school is he supposed to go?
Yeah.
So again, they didn't respond to that. And because I didn't want to accept that they have offered a male teacher for Ifan, because I told him, you know what? Whatever that you are offering right now, it doesn't make sense anymore because he's traumatized. He doesn't want to enter anywhere that has a glass door.
The child care have
The glass door. Yeah,
glass
there's
door.
a glass door.
I mean, it's not only that he's traumatized, but they ask you to leave and then they never give you a reason. But suddenly they found a teacher for
Correct,
you. So
correct. So I don't know what has
doesn't
been
make
happening at the
sense,
back end, you see.
Yeah, there's no explanation.
Yeah, I do not know whether...
unless they tell you like, can you give us a few weeks while...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if they would
interim
have...
reply lah,
Correct. Interim reply and say, ma'am, I understand, I'm so sorry, let us look into this. But there wasn't... And suddenly you come and tell us all these things now, So I said, it's too late. And he's not coming to school anymore. So... and I remember the principal saying, if that's the case, you agree that you are pulling out your son because he's not going to be conducive here. I said, yeah. Well, in that case, can I tear this paper? I said, okay, fine. Because to me, I don't have any more explanations. I don't want to talk to these people anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. She actually tore that paper where I wrote asked to leave. She thought, I'm going to tear it, okay?
Her.
The principal.
Wow, okay.
Tore it in front of me. and we will fill up the form and say that reason for leaving is that to find another school. I said, whatever. Now the question is, of course, people will ask like, why did she do that? I know the answer, and for those who are listening, you probably know the answer. They don't want a record that they actually asked this kid to, to leave a school. So it took us to another school, and it happened again. But because I have experiences, the center director was specifically told me we don't have teachers to support. We are sorry.
Okay lah, this better.
So I said, okay, fine, agreed.
Yep.
So I was in a loss, and I wrote to MCCY, I believe, and I also wrote to our several MPs, and of course to Denise Pua, and to explain my situation. I said, I need a school.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to my child, And eventually, Alhamdulillah, Ifan got a school. And he went to a Christian-led school, actually.
Okay.
But, oh my goodness, the teacher was really, really amazing. First time my entire having children, where I sent him on the first day, the principal said, Mommy, you trust me? Then I was like, yeah, I trust you. Leave your son. He'll be okay. I will take care of him. On the first day, I said, yeah, at 12 o'clock, you come and pick him, okay? He will cry. It's okay. You just pick him at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So, of course, I went home and I was very worried. I was looking at the time, okay, she's going to call. But eventually, she didn't call. And I went to fetch him at 12. Of course, he was crying, but manageable. And then, the next day, it happened again.
Yeah.
Happened again. And I realized, oh my goodness, this principal really know her stuff. And then I found out that she's actually special needs trained.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah. And the best part, okay, that school, the enrollment was full.
Okay.
By the grace of Allah, I cakap, Ifan managed to get to that school and nearby to my mom's place. Perfect location, okay? And near to his intervention school, which he got eventually.
Okay.
Which was a few blocks lah. So Bibi would just ride the bicycle from one school to another school, And that was the beginning of, I could see some light already. He went to intervention. From non-verbal, he started to speak a few words. He was, because when you have special needs kids, they go via visuals.
Yeah.
So you go by visual instruction because they are very, they are hyper, right?
Yep.
So you need to sit them down on a designated place, look at the visuals and follow the visual carefully.
Okay.
Okay, finish this. Then they have to, Velcro that thing and they finish, and then they go to the next one. Finish and they go to the next one. So it was a training for him also. It was like an opportunity for him to learn about himself. So we did it at home. So we transferred the same skill at home.
Okay.
So I also printed, going toilet, going to sleep, whatever, eating, we printed. And then we actually do visuals. Then from there, then COVID happened, right? And then we had to stay at home for that quite a period of time. Okay, that was really, and I remember I wrote an article, it was messy, but it was the best time because you have your kids in front of you. The house turned to become like a campsite. They took all the slimo, all the blankets to become, but that was the best time because, we get to see their development there and then they get to be with us. And I enrolled him into Noreta's class, which was the literacy program.
Okay.
Can you imagine? He cannot sit still most of the time. But with Noreta's class, he can sit still. He could.
Wow.
So I called Noreta the child whisperer lah. Yeah. Until today, I call her the same. And he was able to sit through the class, and he learned how to pick up words. And then he had trouble writing because for him, he has motor skills problem. He couldn't hold a pencil.
Yep.
Couldn't. Like for us, very easy at people. He doesn't even know how to hold a pencil. He will hold it in between.
Okay.
The second and the third finger.
Yeah.
And then he hold like that. How to write? So we taught him, and then he went for therapy, and then he learned to overcome it. And we also learned how to teach him how to read. I read to him a lot. And we also talk to him. We always ask questions when we go out, in the car, we always encourage him to look outside. I said, Adik, look outside. What's that? It's a blue sky. What's in the blue sky? It's clouds. So I get him to be engaged. And of course, at the point of time, what's that? What's that? He's always asking because he doesn't know. He only knows that.
Yeah.
What's that? So Alhamdulillah, with intervention, He spent additional year in kindergarten K2,
Okay.
and he also got into Pathlight. He's thriving, alhamdulillah, now in Pathlight. Of course, when every time we go for the year-end assessment with the results, with the teachers, the beginning of the year we have the EIP, right?
Yep.
So the teacher will ask, so mommy, daddy, what is your expectations? And I remember telling the teachers, actually I have zero expectation. Because I learned that if I have zero expectation and he does a small achievement, you celebrate nobody business, And it means, one thing I realized about my son is why I say he's inspiring is because don't see him like, tak boleh make it. And when he makes it, it's like his performance is it goes like all the way up, From not being able to write, he's suddenly able to write. From not able to spell, he can spell. And it's just that lah. It's just him. So like for me, his story is like doesn't mean that you cannot do it now. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months.
Yeah,
you will not
do
be able to
later.
do it at the 12 months.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing I will tell my clients. Doesn't mean that your marketing doesn't work now, 3 months, 6 months. Be patient, continue.
Yes.
You have to have resilience. And the number one thing that my son taught me is faith and resilience. You believe in Allah, right? And I think for parents who have kids on the autism spectrum or special needs kids, I think all of us, people would tell us, you are so special, you are given anak syurga. Masya Allah. That liner is so special, but only Allah knows how much we have to carry that,
Yeah.
Yeah. And every time he faced a challenge, we also face a challenge. I have to go to work and he has to, go to school and have to face all these things. And then now as he grows older, he's going to be 11 and he's going into that stage where he's learning about more things in life, about friendship, why people are acting in a certain way. And from non-verbal, he's super talkative now to the point I say, Adik, can you just zip? But he's a very sensitive guy.
He's curious.
He's very curious. He's always like, Mommy, do you know why? Blah 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 blah. Mommy, he doesn't speak Malay at all. He's monolingual.
Yeah.
Okay. So when he speaks the language, right, like a London's slang. And I think a lot of the kids on the autism spectrum, if you notice, they speak like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you were to listen, right, they all have so I don't know whether they have been watching too much Thomas the Train, Mr. Topperhead or something, but they speak with that kind of tonation,
Okay.
Like they just. So I remember I took a cab one day and I was talking to my son. So my son was talking, and this pakcik was looking at the rearview mirror, looking. I noticed lah. So then the pakcik said, "Nak, sorry, I asked you something. Where are you from?" Then I was like, wait, where am I from? From there or from what? So I was like, from where? Maksud cik apa? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Are you from Singapore? I said, yes, from Singapore. So where did your son go to school? Singapore? I said, oh no, why does he speak like that? I thought he learned from, you just came back from UK or US. I said, no. Born, bred, live here. I said, all this, we never go out of the country. But because he's on the autism spectrum, they say, Masya Allah. The first liner he said, anak syurga, he bilang. And secondly, he said, is he in school? I said, yes, he's in Pathlight. Oh, Masya Allah. And second time he said, Masya Allah, do you know Pathlight is the RI for the special needs kids? Your son is a very gifted child. So I said, InsyaAllah, Pakcik, thank you for your dua, And he is special. Not only, I have this line that say, different but not less.
Yeah.
And that is the same tagline I carry for myself and to whoever that friends who share with me, Tina, I'm not this, I'm not. Even sometimes I tell myself, Alamak, I think I'm not a good leader. No. I'm a bit different.
Yeah.
But I'm not less. And Irfan is this, that he has always, of course, his picture is in my bag and everything, but he always tell me, Mommy, it's okay, Sometimes when I get tired or sometimes I speak to you as if he's an adult.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
Sometimes like, Mommy, what's wrong? Sometimes work is so difficult. Mommy, it's okay. You can do this, okay? Then he will pat me.
So nice.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's a sensitive new age guy.
Yeah.
And then, kakak is a different ball game altogether. But I have two different worlds with me at home, and I appreciate that. While he is, my daughter is also a challenge at this age when they're turning at that 18, 19 years old. But through her own challenges, I also learned how to be a better parent. Zaman dulu, what we do, our parents, we raise our voice or we use cane. Nowadays, it's a different ballgame altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that my children and of course my husband, who's always, whenever I say I can't do this, of course you can.
Yeah.
His answer is very simple. Of course you can. Where to go? Where? You go back to Kaif. You go back to your office there, and you go and write your article there. So he always tell me that I can. And I remembered I was very very, very down at one point earlier this year. So I have this practice of writing letters to my husband even until today. So I will write, but not email lah.
Yeah.
So I wrote an email and explained to him how I felt, and he wrote back. And then he, in the morning, as if nothing happened, as if we didn't send that letter, but we read lah.
Yeah.
And before I left for work, of course I was salam him, and he said, you are the best, So you sure that you are the best? And he said, jangan pandang belakang, go forward. And he's because he's a Metallica fan, he always said that, he said, so let it be written, so let it be done. And so my dad, my kids, my husband, of course, I have my coaches. Oh gosh, I have my coaches from Coach Dazri, Star Alliance, and I have Fazluddin from MOTD. I spent a year with Fazluddin. We have re-engineered how TC can do the best for our clients. And now I'm with another sales coach, learning how to do sales, closing it better. So it's always a learning process from everybody. I think in life, it's literally about accepting that it's not the end until God says it's the end.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep on going and looking at people who inspires you lah. Then you just take one step at a time. One step at a time. If you were to look at other people's success and tell yourself, macam dia boleh lagi tak boleh, then you will get upset.
Yeah.
You can get upset just for a day, please. After that, move on, because everybody's success and challenges are different.
Correct.
Mine, yours, everybody's. But I think what we should see is, she can do it, I can do it. Different style, different time.
Not less.
Different but not less. Yes.
So that's I think the biggest takeaway that we've garnered in this episode. I mean, especially the experience going through with your son.
Yep.
Probably how the experience shaped you as a person or as a parent or as a business owner before we probably wrap up this episode.
I think I saw this poster here about faith, family and legacy. And I think somebody asked me what's enough for me. And I think this really sums up for me. Having the faith to do what we are supposed to do, our obligations, without restrictions. Our family means everything to us. Apa yang kita buat, whatever that we do, it's not only for ourselves. Yes, it's kicking all the buckets that we want to, but it's more about for our kids, and they are the I would say the fuel to our growth. My husband, my dad, my mom, my late mom, who actually made me sell people around the block,
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually had a market segmentation with my brother, which block to go,
Nice.
what time to go, which customer going to buy a certain amount of epok-epok and goreng pisang. I even had that. So my family is the one that actually brought me to where I am today. And of course, the legacy. Well, I mean, legacy doesn't mean that you're going to be rich. Being rich is of course, that would be nice. But what is the impact that you have? What is the impact that I want to have on my kids? And what is the impact that I can actually have on my clients? And I think that is something that I look forward to every time I have a client. And Alhamdulillah, some of the clients who have stayed with me ever since I started in 2019 till now, they know that it has gone beyond than just a client agency relationship. It's literally a friendship now. And to the point that this is not probably good for a lot of agencies, but they to the point that they can just say, Kak T, you know what is my next content, right? I say, okay, can. to that kind of point, because, and I think about the whole thing about brand story is about when you immerse yourself to the person's lives. You know what they do, what they like, what they don't like, their tone of voice. You can, it's actually sensory, you know. You actually you encapsulate the person through your senses. Sama juga when you actually do a brand story, how do you encapsulate that, and how do you inspire people who actually read your brand story? So like I said, you know, what is enough, what is for me, is my faith, my family, and the legacy that I want to leave. Yeah.
Great. Awesome.
And I mean, before we wrap up, can we know what's next for TC, and also where can our followers look for you?
Okay. Moving on, I think this is in October. Teen Comms is going to be 5th year in the industry. Alhamdulillah, we have, like I said, we have re-engineered from a just offering PR and marketing, but now we have also gone into branding works, brand story. Of course, I have to give a shout out to my partner in the industry, Hanafi, who have taught me a lot about branding and how I can actually encapsulate that into the entire integrated plan. We have grown, and we definitely can offer a lot more to our clients. But moving forward, I would definitely want to see TC grow. Where I just had this conversation with my coach just yesterday, and he said, Tina, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? So it might sound like a joke, but I say, coach, I want to come to the office. Hi guys, what's your update? Okay, bye-bye, thank you, I'll see you tomorrow. That kind of situation where I have a very solid team who takes care of my clients, and the clients who actually stay with us for a long time.
Nice.
So that's but of course, so if you ask me what's immediate, I guess since it's my birthday month in September, I have a special promo. Whoever is looking to craft their brand stories, please either DM me or DM it to your the Golden Nuggets for a special price of developing your brand story with me. Personally, I'm going to want doing it for you. Yeah, inshallah.
Right, awesome. I think that will sum up today's episode with Kartin. Thank you so much for gracing our episodes today, Kartin.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate your time and the moment that you share every single part, from part 1, part 2, part 3. And I hope you guys can encapsulate all the nuggets that we have shared. Kartin has shared. And I mean, it's a lot to think about, but it's great. If you need brand story, please look out for Kartin. Add her in LinkedIn, add her in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, what have you. You know the drill. So with that, we end today's episode. Thank you so much, guys. We look for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.